Now, welcome to the saga of the kryptonite life. When some of the days go wrong at the end, some of the days go right. Meaning life can make you weak, but we can walk you to the light. The life where dreams come true are just the nightmares of the hype. Where love and hate are roommates, pleasure and pain are friends. Peace and war and lovers, insane and insane are twins. Cause I want it all and nothing ain't enough for me. And all I need is love, but why y'all all up under me? Plus I would like to see every single lady's sex face. At the same time, man, I'm looking for my soulmate. I feel so religious, spirits living up above. But I gotta admit, I want my chariot with dogs. And I could be your Superman and I could set you free. But honestly, I need the cash and I'm charging a fee for my cigarettes and water, my fruit juice and my alcohol, my salads and my pork chops. I got high cholesterol. Lois said she loved me, then she hit me up for child support. Lex baby mama ain't gon' never take his ass to court. Got me in this nightclub, trying to get my mind right. When she bent over, I was looking at my whole life. So once upon a time on a planet called Earth, a man dug in his pockets just to see what he was worth. Well, rabbit ears were more than Eric B. and Rakim. Then the infinite power that he was holding within got him kinda confused, obligated, misused. Got in front of a microphone a couple times and he spewed his whole guts. Some of the things he loved and some of the things he lost. Some of the folk he hate, some of the folk he trust. And thus mixtape became an album. Your first installment has started. You're welcome.
Okay, what's happening? I made a video, but I made a video about that. But let's have a real conversation about something. Because with all this political climate and all of the BS people are talking, answer the question: what happens if Republicans fail? Because what it looks like is y'all really don't know, and all the people who are want to be super political and they think they got it all figured out and everything is this great plan that, you just got to stick with the plan. Obviously, y'all don't know what's going on, right? Y'all have no clue what's really going on. So what happens if it fails? Because with everything that's going on right now, are there any answers for how to fix the economy? The answer is no. Are there any answers to fix rising costs and inflation? No. And are there any answers to move this country in a positive direction? No. And the irony of it is, people play the game. If we're gonna do it the Republican way, the conservative way, the MAGA way. What happens if it fails? What happens then? Like, is we supposed to take it seriously? Because basically, what's going to happen is the stuff is really gonna hit the fan. And all these people who are so smart and got everything together, they're going to panic. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on. And this ain't just a thing, because of President Trump. It's not, no. He don't have a plan. The Republican Party doesn't have a plan. Conservatives don't have a plan. Everybody's just angry and stupid. So with all of this anger and frustration, nobody was smart enough to think of anything that would actually work. So all you just got is bad attitudes. We need to get rid of these people. We need to get rid of those people. We need family values. We need to go to God. So basically what you're telling me is the situation you got yourself in, you don't know how to fix, so we just gonna make it about everything else. So what happens if it fails? Who do you blame then? Whose fault is it then? If you've got the Supreme Court in your favor, whose fault is it then? If you got the Senate in your favor, whose fault is it then? You got all three branches of government in your favor, and you ain't fixed nothing. Whose fault? What's gonna happen then? Y'all was out here being dumb, talking about, well, the tariffs is gonna help America. The tariffs, you're gonna see. So y'all ain't got a basic 8th grade education to understand that wasn't gonna work from jump. No. What you go? I feel like I was about to sound like Hulk Hogan. What you gonna do when it don't work? Let me guess. You just gonna it's us black folks' fault, right? Because you need an enemy, basically. That's basically what keeps happening. America needs an enemy because it's not gonna fix its problems. So at the end of the day, what's the solution? The solution is keep kicking the can down the road, right? And the one thing I talked about was, the issue that people having with boomers. Like, boomers are the problem. Boomers caused all of this. And I was like, yeah, boomers did a lot. But a lot of y'all benefited from what the boomers was doing. Here, like, let me throw this one out there. So if the Republicans fail, is it time for the other three generations to take over? Is it time to throw all the old folks out? Is it time for, let's just say, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z to take the bull by the horns and fix the country? Is that, because if the Republicans fail, is that what's going to happen? Is that what you think going to happen? Because everybody else could fix it. Because this is what you asked for. The current state of America is what a lot of y'all asked for. It's what a lot of y'all fought for. It's what a lot of y'all marched. Yeah, because it was fake marches. They had them fake marches too. A lot of y'all, the way it is right now, a lot of you, and I take that back with let's just say who's the youngest generation to be 18 now? I'm gonna leave them out of it. But people 25 and up, no, this is what you wanted. Stop acting like this is not what you wanted. Now it's a situation where, I didn't know it was going to be like this. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Appreciate that, Dr. X. Now, what are you going to do? Because I know that should the Democrats be? The Democrats ain't going to do nothing either. They're not going to do nothing either. So if the Republicans fail, is it time for everybody to go independent? Green Party. Like, what's the next move? Because people let their stupidity throw them down a rabbit hole of this was going to actually work. How could you go down this path and not say to yourself, hey man, they don't really got a plan though. Nobody actually has a plan. All of these old people don't have a plan. No. All right. I'm gonna say okay. If both parties are controlled by the elites and corporate donors, so if we get rid of both parties, the new people are not going to be controlled by elites and corporate donors? Because they're young people, they're Gen X and millennials in the Senate. They still controlled by elites and corporate donors. This is how it was set up. This is how it was set up. And the crazy part about that is also this. And I said it before. This is what people wanted. People wanted it to have all these super PACs. You remember, the basically the super PACs, were basically a response to Obama crowdfunding. So it is what it is. And then Trump blew the doors off of that by basically, you know what, I'm gonna pay for myself. I'm not going, I'm not a puppet of the corporations and elites. Well, look like he is, right? So on both sides of the equation, what does that tell you? If you let corporations control your government and government officials, and here's why I say what I say. Because in the video I did about boomers, I brought up the racial component. And some of these people was tripping. But I'm going to put it just like this. It could be considered a conspiracy or a known fact that people say that elites and corporations buy politicians all the time. That's a crime. And the only reason why that keeps happening is because it's white people doing it. That's what that is. That's literally what that is. I'm buying some politicians. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Nothing. And then people go, what about the people? What about the people? The people have nothing to do with this. It was never about the people in the first place. So what are you going to do if the Republicans, or when the Republicans fail? And the reason I say when, because as long as the deficit keeps going up, everything is going to be a failure. Because as long as America owes, and the question is, who does America owe? Because part of the people that America owe, because people like to say, China and Saudi Arabia, part of the people that America owe is other elites in America, corporations in America. Once you put the government in a position that it can owe corporations in other countries money, you knew you was messed up. Yeah, can we borrow some money from y'all? What? Of course. Why don't you? And I say that in this sense because can't afford it, Doc. Can't afford it, Doc. Yeah, if the Republicans mess up, fine. And the Democrats mess up, no. See, the reason I'm saying what I'm saying in this way is this. It's easy to go back and forth from one side to the other side when the economy and the deficit, when the economy was better and the deficit was small. The deficit is more than the GDP. So if you keep playing this game, basically, in the next 5 to 10 years, the deficit is going to be almost twice the size of the GDP because they're not trying to pay this joint down. And everybody who got a credit card understands how interest works. If you can't keep paying these interests, it's going to keep exploding. So think about what it's going to be, what the deficit is going to be if it's not addressed by the time President Trump gets out of office. You get what I'm saying? And this ideology, and I say it because I'm about to add something to it. Racist is not. You remember their Reaganomics is hilarious. And I say what happens if they fail, because if this keeps getting worse, the racial component is what? White supremacy is going to lose legitimacy. The white supremacy, the white soft power of being white all across the globe, It's gonna be done. It's gonna be done. You know, what the hell is Naga? What is that? How like look, you might have said, I don't know what that is. You know, it's been falling. No, it wasn't. See, people don't realize that it hasn't been falling since the 80s. It's only started falling in the last 20, ever since right after 9/11. That's when it started falling. But it was manageable. It was manageable because, the deficit was like less than half of the GDP. You know what I'm saying? When it was 10, when it was 12, when it was 10, when it was 12, when it was 14, 16, okay. Bro, now it's 38. Because you gotta remember, Clinton balanced the budget and he left in 2000. Bush inherited the economy in the surplus. The reason why it went haywire is because of 9/11. Oh, no. Well, no, the China thing, that's I get it, but that's a whole different conversation. Because what I mean by white supremacy is a soft power of whiteness. I'm not just talking about the U.S. See, once the U.S. falls, that soft power falls. That in Europe is already falling. You get what I'm saying? So this whole European concept that people have in their minds about this underlying, if it's white is right, if it's white is good, that's gonna go globally. That's what I'm saying. That's gonna go globally. The idea, why do I need to listen to you? Why are you you don't know what why are you what do you call that? The preemptive group to go to? No, thank you. You don't know what you're doing. Right? And you see how Africa is slowly but surely taking taking Europe to, like, we ain't messing with you. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing that. We're not doing. Man, once Africa gets to Africa just need a tipping point. Once Africa gets to a critical mass, Europe is over with. And once Europe is over with, you ain't even people don't even bring up Australia. That's just gonna be like a wasteland. Like, y'all need to go there. Y'all need to go there to feel white. But that's the issue. That's the preemptive issue is like, I don't think of the United States of America, the vast majority of white American can handle the fact that, globally people are going to be looked at as a joke. Because, this idea, you're going to blame the boomers, it's the boomers' fault, the boomers ruined it. Yeah, I get it. I hear it. Yeah, but even with them African leaders, most of them dudes like 80 years old. That's their issue. They still got a lot of African leaders for sure, but a lot of them super old. Super old. So that's the funny part about life. That's a clear one. Hey, what's up? Yeah, definitely. I understand what you're saying, Doc. You ain't slowing down Africa's birth rate. I've been to Africa. It's a lot of sexy chicks in Africa. Okay, they ain't slowing down no birth rates. The life expectancy is short, but the birth rate is high. it's not just the greatness, it's the facade of importance. Like if you go to other countries and other places, people cater to folks. That's gonna be gone. That's gonna be gone. But in America in general is gonna be gone. Because other countries can't even fathom, like, how did you mess this up? You get what I'm saying? So, and I say that because I don't think the United States is gonna. How can I say this? No, and I'm trying not to be a jerk about it. Does racism still exist? Yes. Is it systematic? Yes. But in essence, America couldn't last. It's probably not going to last 75 years after Jim Crow. I mean, since the Civil Rights Bill was brought into existence, it might not make it to 75 years before it just boop, just blows itself. It just blows up. So other countries and other groups of people got to look at it, because when I say this economy goes bad, when this economy goes bad, it's already bad, but when it kicks in and the numbers won't stop, yeah, the Soviet collapse is exactly what I'm talking about. But when it collapses, the issue is going to get, be exceedingly worse, because in essence, all these other countries didn't have slavery and Jim Crow, and these in America fails after that. But the other part about it is these other countries are gonna go, oh man, I don't have America in my business no more, because they can't afford to be here anymore. So those other countries like Venezuela, those kind of countries, the countries that are oil rich, resource rich, they're gonna start booming. They're gonna start booming. Because people gonna go get Americans out of your business because they're failures. So you're gonna see Africa blow up. This is gonna boom. It's gonna be out of there. Because it's gonna be less European interference. So that's where it messes, So as this country goes down, you're gonna see all these other groups go up. That's why you're starting to see so many Americans talk about they want to live abroad. I'm gonna go here. No, bro, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. When this goes bad, the vast majority of you folks that want to live abroad, y'all finna get stepped on in these other countries. Y'all don't think about it, but y'all finna get stepped on. Because now people are not gonna have to cater to you. Let's cater to the Americans. F them Americans. Because you want to move to another country, and then they raise the price of living for the natives in that country because you there, you're gonna be a target. Let me move to and let me add something to that. Excuse me, y'all. Some of you people who think y'all gonna move to other countries because I can live good up with my American dollar. I'm gonna say it this way: if you couldn't live in the hood in America, you ain't built to live in a third world country in a nice neighborhood. I'm gonna tell you that now. A lot of y'all can't make it in those places because you have your American sensibilities and entitlements, like the roads, the power outages, the way they do business over here. You're not prepared for that. You're not prepared for that. You're gonna go there causing a fuss and after the American spell has died over everybody else's eyes. People gonna start smacking you around. For sure. Exactly. That's part of it. Because that's why people are nice to Americans, because of the dollar. Once that's over with, it's over. It is so over. But what will happen when they fail? What's gonna happen? That's the question. What's gonna happen? Because people don't want to say it, but hold on, let me see if I do this. Yeah, that works. They don't want to say it, but the reality is it's Thanos, baby. It's inevitable. And what I see is I see this scared, shocked, this scared, shocked belief system, like, it's not that bad. Y'all, if y'all believe it's not that bad, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. Everything looks good for now. Okay. All right. America is a beautiful country, contrary to popular belief. America is a beautiful country. From sea to shining sea, as they would say. But see, what happened was, y'all let capitalism destroy the opportunity for the country to grow. Y'all let y'all greed as persons, your greed came before your patriotism. And we already knew, Americans aren't really that patriotic anyways. Capitalism over America. That's how it's been. That's how it's going to be. And that's the cause of the situation it's in now. Right. It's 08. So where the money don't come from? That's the point right there. That's what Doge was about. You got the genius Elon Musk, to figure out where the money's at so we can save the country. And you realize something. Even a quote unquote genius couldn't help with the budget. AI, artificial intelligence, can't help with the budget. Why is that? Because y'all actually think they showed where all the money was at and where it was going? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was good. So, and most of yeah. And most of what people don't realize, well, I ain't gonna say people don't realize. Some people might not have taken into consideration. Elon Musk became the richest person in the world basically off of stock options. It wasn't a product. He didn't invent something and it sold, and it sold so much that everybody needed it and wanted it and it made him super rich. No, it's stock options. And he was subsidized by the same government. Think about that. But it don't like so. What is the purpose of this? It's not. So that means even the richest person now was not into business. Did not get his money in a business way. You don't look at them the same way you look at, Steve Jobs or Phil Knight or Warren Buffett. It's not the same thing. Jeff Bezos. They made something that everybody buys, and the Walmart family, the Waltons, or whatever. It's not the same thing. And it shows the hypocrisy of America. Because you gave a South African so much welfare that he became the richest person in the world. Hilarious. Oh yeah, I know he had PayPal. I know he started PayPal and whatnot. I get that. PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla. I get it. I definitely get it. But you know, at the end of the day, it's mostly government contracts. It's government subsidies and stock options. The stock went through the roof. So he's super rich. Whatever. But even he couldn't help this deficit go in a positive direction. So when the richest, most powerful nation in the world can't pay its bills, what does that say? You know, Peter Thiel. Yeah, I get it. He said Tesla ain't been around since 1942. The car company, you know, the story of Mikhail Tesla has been around since he died, but yeah, if you 90% of people being broke ain't sustainable, no, it's not. But this is what happens when you want a particular demographic to be perpetually broke. This is what happens. Because every time somebody makes progress, we got to put in some red tape here. Then they made progress here. We got to put in some red tape there. Then they made progress here. We got to put in some red tape here. Then they made progress here. We got to make a new rule here. And all of these new rules and all this bureaucracy and red tape, Nikola Tesla's most famous invention is alternating current. Who made direct current? Think about it. Lewis Latimer. There's three people in that equation with Nikola Tesla. Lewis Latimer, Thomas Edison, Nikola or Nikola? I'm sorry, Tesla. There's three people in that equation. It's three. Lewis Latimer is the one that really created the light bulb. Thomas Edison is the one that got credit. And Tesla is the one that made the alternating current because Latimer made it direct current. He made the direct current. So now you fast forward all of these years. Tesla's a different thing. No. The league is still a good way to make money. Electric cars didn't come out till was it the late 70s, early 80s? I want to say. Because I remember they killed the dude that made the DeLorean. Hey, I ain't gonna. No. I do believe that universal basic income is going to come into play, right? But here's the thing. You really think in the United States of America that you're going to convince the vast majority of white America to take welfare for the rest of their life and be stuck at that rate for the rest of their life? No, they're going to lose it. They're going to lose it. And I don't care how bad the debt goes. They're not prepared for that. It sounds good in theory. Is it a thing? Possibly. But you really think, no, they're not going to take it. No, I can guarantee you. Because what you're telling them is you're relegated to this amount of money for the rest of your life. Because remember, you can't get, you know how the United States government works about welfare. If you take this money, you can't go but so far. It's only so much we're gonna allow you to do. You can't, you can't just be out here trying to make money off the money we give you. And it's like, yeah, man, it's crazy. Uh, excuse me. Let me see something. He didn't, man, frame running. He did not make no damn electric car in 1930s and 1940s. That's not what he did, bro. The coil is named after him, but no, he did not create no damn electric car. Because I thought he died. He died in like 1940. You know, he died in, let me see. I know he died in the 40s. He died in 1943. It's gonna get bad. Yeah, it's not. You can't give you can't give Americans universal basic income. You get what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say because think about it. You're basically telling the vast majority of white America you on a reservation for the rest of your life, and your kids gonna be on a reservation for the rest of their life, and everybody gonna and all you white people gonna be in your form of the projects for the rest of your life. You know, that's a death blow to capitalism, and the idea that I don't have the opportunity to I'm gonna get the same amount of welfare as black folks and Mexicans and Hispanics rather. Black folks, Hispanics, Asians, Arabs, like we all gonna get the same amount? Oh hell no. Hell no. They ain't gonna like that. They ain't gonna like that. You know. But anyway, let me get back to what I was getting to. Uh, I don't think that this country is built for and I'm not saying built physically, but I don't think this country is mentally prepared for the idea that it's not going to work, that it's on the down, that it's going on the downward. You know, right? But that's the like. Here's the crazy thing about AI. One of the reasons why they created AI to do these jobs is because they had all of these corporate people who wasn't working and getting overpaid. So that's what AI's job was for. Because y'all wasn't working. When I say y'all, I mean corporate folks. I don't mean y'all in the chat. But, people wasn't working. There's a lot of people in corporate America who just, pass their job on to somebody under them or BS most of their day or, just walked around like, oh yeah, I'm in charge. A lot of corporate America it doesn't really work. So they got, since you on the computer, let me get the computer to do your job since you're not doing it. And for corporate America, that's self-inflicted. And the irony with that is, even with corporate America in America, you're gonna fire all these people in this corporation, and you still think they're gonna buy your products? Not finna happen. This idea that people think, oh man, hey man, we're gonna get rid of all the employees that we can, and it's gonna work out just fine. It don't work out just fine. You they was worried about shrinking the government. You shrink the economy. Since you don't want to pay people, but you still want to produce these products, who gonna buy them? Yeah. So this is the hypocrisy and really the stupidity of the American political system and American ideology. This is American capitalism is just dumb because you always wanted everybody else. You want to benefit for free. And I look at it very simply in this aspect. If you go to the grocery store, I've noticed this for years. There's more and more product on the shelf because people just not gonna buy it. Not because they don't want it, but no. I love Oreos. I'm not buying them motherfuckers. I'm not buying them. And every time I go by and I see the cookie aisle, Oreos stacked to the brim. I don't drink soda, but I see the soda stacked to because the prices kept going up and up and up and up and up. You see it over and over and over again. You see people going, man, I'm not buying it. Only people buying stuff is people on food stamps. Because why am I finna buy? I'm gonna buy a pack of cookies for $5 when they still got, cheap cookies for $1.80. No, I'm gonna just if I do it, I'm gonna do the $1.80. Same thing, when I was talking about the car market before, right? They started instant pricing, yeah, because they want you to pay when you get there. They put this in the cart and pay for it now. No. I want to know the price. But it's the same thing with the car market. Oh man, why aren't they buying cars? Why would they buy cars? You got these fools out here, they grown enough to know the same car that they selling for $60,000 10 years ago used to be 30. So explain that. Oh, it's because of the technology. Damn, well, how come the engine ain't working? You got all this technology in the engine blowing? What are we talking about? Oh man, yeah. These corporations finna get it. Newport's $8. 16. Like I don't smoke. I knew because I knew that was a bad habit back in the day. Same thing. And the irony of it is, what's keeping a steady price? Alcohol, because they say younger people don't buy alcohol like people do back in the day. So alcohol pretty much stayed relatively the same. They keep coming up with newer and newer alcohols, and it's like, hey man, if I ain't got to buy that, I'm gonna buy something cheap. Same quality. Man, you can't have high. Here's the crazy part: there's no such thing as high profit margins when nobody's buying a new car. You can't have. What good is cheaper materials when nobody's buying a car? They making $100,000 cars and the engines are blowing. and that's GMC. That's messed up. When a Cadillac's engines, engines and transmissions are tough, we got problems. They got 4 F-150s they having issues with. I'm like, what? The F-150? Oh, y'all tripping now. Right. So now we got issues. Eventually, oh man. I get it. Now we got these issues over and over again, and they can't fix them. And here's a crazy reason why I think they can't fix it. Let's just say one of these, people came up with a real plan to lower the deficit, right? Here would be the problem. The deficit would increasingly get lower, and the American population would expect the prices of all these products to go down. And these companies will keep it sky high. Since the dollar's worth more, you can pay more. I'm like, okay, dude, you know, it's crazy. Yeah. Whew. He said, exactly. That don't make no sense. And they're gonna keep jacking up the price, and people gonna keep buying. And that's here's the crazy part about that. They're gonna keep jacking up the price. People still not gonna buy these cars. And whether they like it or not, they're gonna force them Chinese electric cars into America because they're so cheap. They're gonna force it. People are like, hey man, I ain't buying this. And then all of a sudden, all these car brands gonna have an issue. That's why people buying them damn them Kias and whatnot. It, so, it's not the death slavery thing, bro. Like even the people not having kids, that's the kids thing. I'm working. I understand it. I really do. But as a parent, I don't. I think not having good jobs is a bigger issue than the economy when it comes to having kids. But plus, you got to remember, I'm black, so we've been having kids when families was poor since slavery, right? So it's like, other people, I need this, I need that. Do you? But I ain't gonna lie, the price of daycare, oh my God. Oh my God, these people out here, daycare is selling, daycare is a kilo a month. you know, they hit you up for $1,000. You might as well buy drugs. I got a baby. Yeah, how much would it take for you to watch my baby? Oh, that'll be $12,000. 12 what? Because I've seen that. I've seen daycares close in the last. Running about my daycares have closed in the last 5 to 10 years because people had less kids, but also people's like, I'm not paying this. I'm not paying this. The daycares that were cheaper, they stayed in business. The ones that have all that shit that you want to pay for, they went out of business. It is what it is. But what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen if when they fail? Because right now, the people, and I think I personally have this belief where I think all the politicians in Washington D.C., past, present, and future, are out of touch with the American people. AAU teams, it costs. They get sponsorships and shit. And AAU teams is the reason why the NBA suck now. Because you don't actually have the best people playing. You got the people that can afford to be on the AAU team. You don't really have the best talent. You got some of the best talent. The rest of the best talent wasn't able to make it. You got motherfuckers in AAU. They cold in AAU, but it's somebody colder, better than them when they playing games in high school. But since they don't go to AAU as much, or if at all, then we think they're a better player. Lies. But going back to what I was saying, man, the United States government is out of touch with American citizens. They've always been that way. People forget how that what happened with George Bush Sr. when he was running for president, and he didn't know how to scanner in the grocery store worked. And it was like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, you don't know how to scan in the grocery store work? Like, damn, like we gonna elect it, he the president and he don't know how to. how to buy groceries? Like what the fuck? But that's normal now. That's it looked abnormal then, but that's how it's been. That's how it's been. So these are the same people who are in the government trying to run stuff. Yeah, rich people. Yeah, they'll never be in touch with the average person. They never intended to be in touch with the average person. So it's bad. It's super bad. I said super bad. I'm tripping. But man, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I gotta start getting ready to cook dinner and whatnot. So I'm gonna get out of here. I really appreciate y'all. Now I gotta figure out how to end this sucker. But getting a message. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think on it later, man. Peace.
It looks like a job for Superman.
Do this.
Spoken from the lips of the young, of the old, fear of me.
Yeah. Gotta put it all in.
And they are Superman.
All the way. I guess I'm taking off the cape through the glasses in the trash. Being super is great, saving y'all is such a drag. Even God took the break, me I ain't coming back. I got one life to live, if you don't like it, that's your ass. Cause nobody saved me, plus when I walk, I'm just a peon. I could use somebody just like I'm the kings of neon. This world is cold as ice, mixed with salt, mixed with freon. They got me pissed off, but that's better than being peed on. For eons, human beings took kindness for weakness. When you constipated, you start to appreciate shit. Put before you life and death, and you just gotta choose. The kryptonite life means you still follow the rules. If your credit's messed up or your bills ain't paid, then it's getting disconnected. Can't nobody say the day. And I can fly, leave a building in a single bound. But I can't stand fair weather friends, and I just fly around. My super friends is Justice League. Only folk I kick it with. Kill Lex Luthor, so what? We had to finish it. Kids play games and adults play for keeps. And me, I play to win, but I ain't playing in these streets. And life is not a joke. Then again, it ain't this serious. Superman can say the day, but God can say the Superman. Saga of the kryptonite, life just ended. You enjoy listening? Man, I finished it. Lois, come holler at me. I got an ice couch. Thank you for coming out, listening. I knew you would like it because we made it. I'm so freaking and so fly. Okay.